They made you feel invisible. They left without warning, as if you never mattered. But what if that rejection was life's greatest hidden gift? They never saw your worth. They ghosted you, betrayed you, ignored you, tossed you aside like an afterthought. They slammed the door in your face and told you you're not enough. And for a moment, you believed them. But what if I told you that rejection isn't a curse? What if the pain you felt wasn't the end, but the beginning of your awakening? What if rejection was life's greatest gift in disguise? Today, we're ripping open that wound, not to hurt you, but to show you what's been hiding underneath. Because through the lens of Stoicism, rejection isn't punishment, it's redirection. A violent shove from the universe, pushing you back onto your rightful path. It's pain, forged with purpose, and if you have the courage to look it in the eye, it can transform you into something untouchable. One, the world owes you nothing. Let's start with the truth most people can't handle. You were never entitled to the love you wanted. You were never promised the dream job, the applause, the yes. The person who walked away was never truly yours. That dream that collapsed, maybe it was built on sand. It sounds brutal, because it is. But the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they would have smiled at this truth. Marcus once wrote, "Do not hanker after what you don't have. Instead, focus on the best of what you do have, and imagine how much you'd miss it if it were gone." Put simply, stop mourning what left. Start sharpening what remains. Rejection is life's reminder that you are owed nothing, and that's liberating. Because once you accept that truth, you stop waiting, stop begging, stop pleading for validation. You begin to build. Point 2. Burn bridges, light the way. Remember the last time you were rejected? Not a soft no, but a soul-shattering one. A friend who disappeared. A lover who ghosted you. A boss who smiled at you and tossed your resume behind your back. You didn't just feel disappointment, you felt abandonment, rage, shame. But then, something lit up in your chest. That fire, that cold clarity. The bridge was burning. And for the first time, you realized you could walk alone. Rejection hurts because it tears away your illusions. It forces you to look in the mirror. No filters, no sweet lies. But if you're strong enough not to look away, that's where your power begins. Free. You were never meant to be safe. You were meant to be dangerous. Most people want comfort, easy love, stable jobs, predictable lives. They want safety, not growth. But you were meant for something far more dangerous. Stoicism was never about fake smiles and passive silence. It was a philosophy for warriors. Forged in the fire of real life, Epictetus was born a slave, chained, beaten. We saw how Epictetus, even in chains, built a mind no one could conquer. He once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Rejection, that's your test, your training ground, your initiation into the mindset of someone who refuses to beg the world for scraps of love or approval. Let them say no. Let them shut the door. Let them pretend not to see your worth. Good. Now you have something to prove to yourself. For the alchemy of pain. Here's something they don't teach in school. There's a certain clarity that only comes after you've been broken. When you're rejected, the ego shatters. That version of you that needed to be liked, chosen, validated, it dies, and in its place, something colder, quieter, sharper is born. Not bitterness, not numbness, but a deep, silent strength. You stop chasing, you start attracting, because rejection is a filter. It removes what's not meant for you. People who don't want you, gone. Jobs that don't align, gone. Dreams that weren't, yours burned. What's left is you, raw, real, unmasked. That's when things start shifting. That's when people start asking, what changed? They don't see the nights you doubted your worth, the mornings you woke up hollow but kept going. They don't realize the pain they gave you. You turned it into fuel. 5. The obstacle is the way. One of Stoicism's core teachings, the obstacle is the way. Sounds like a riddle until you live it. Didn't get the girl? Now you have time to become the man who doesn't chase because he's the prize. Got fired? Now you're free to build something no boss can control. Ghosted? Disrespected? Good. You dodged a life of mediocrity. Everything they denied you became space to build something better. That's the Stoic twist. Life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Especially when it breaks your heart. 6. Silence is the best revenge. Let's talk about revenge. Not the Hollywood kind, the real one. You don't need to lash out. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to become so powerful, so untouchable, that their rejection becomes laughable. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That means evolve. Rise. Let their absence echo in your success. Let them wonder. Let them scroll through your profile and feel the distance between who they rejected and who you've become. And if they ever come back, smile. Not from spite, but because you no longer need them. 7. You're not supposed to be liked by everyone. Here's a truth that will set you free. If everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong. Powerful people polarize. They trigger jealousy. They make others uncomfortable. They get rejected, and that's okay, because rejection isn't failure. We realize that rejection isn't failure. It's a message, a signpost showing you where your energy is wasted and where your truth doesn't belong. Now, let's go deeper. 8. Rejection is feedback, not definition. They didn't see your value? Good. That place didn't deserve your energy. They didn't appreciate you? Perfect. Now you know you don't have to keep chasing their approval. Rejection is feedback. It shows you where you don't belong, where your time, love, and effort go unrecognized, where your truth isn't seen. The Stoics never chased applause. They lived by principles, internal, unshakable codes. They weren't guided by the opinions of others. They were anchored in truth, and so should you. Because the moment you stop fearing rejection, you become unstoppable. No more walking on eggshells. No more shrinking to fit someone else's mold. You claim your space, and you let the world deal with it. 9. You were never broken, you were being reforged. Let's bring this home. You weren't rejected because you were unworthy. You were rejected because life was making room for your evolution. You weren't discarded, you were redirected. What feels like a loss now will become your legend later. That betrayal, that ghosting, that job you didn't get, it will be the moment in your story when everything shifted. One day, you'll look back and say, "That's when I stopped asking for permission to be powerful. That fracture forced me to rebuild with stone instead of straw. That burn cauterized my weakness and exposed my edge." You'll realize rejection didn't destroy you, it built you. It carved you into something sharper, stronger, more real. It forced you to stop waiting, to start building, to rise from the ashes of who you were and step fully into who you were meant to be, to become the kind of person who doesn't need validation because they've already given it to themselves, because they've tasted the silence and walked on anyway, because they learned that solitude isn't punishment, it's a forge, a crucible where illusions melt and truth is born. So the next time someone slams a door in your face, smile, nod, thank them. They didn't reject you, they released you, they didn't crush your future, they revealed it. And that was the beginning of everything. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, type Stoic in the comments to let me know. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.